Hey YouTube, coming out to the Great League team using a SANDSLASH. So I believe that a SANDSLASH could be a potential core breaker for this meta. You know, you got more flyers this season, you have more steals this season, which you can hit super effective with drill run. You got some ground that you can hit super effective with ice punch, more dragons that you can resist and hit super effective. So I think it covers a lot of the meta. I used Shadow Claw because Shadow Claw was the recommended moveset on PvP Poke. I actually just put in Ice Punch just to see the difference in wins and losses, and Ice Punch actually has more wins and more average. Basically, you're covering, you know, if you want to run Shadow Claw, you're helping yourself against waters and steels. And if you are running Powder Snow, more the flyers and grounds. And I guess normal typing where claws resisted. Paired with Sableye and the Azumarill, you know, you're double weak to fighting and fire, so I thought Azumarill would cover fighting and fire very well, plus it's got some bulk. I need a safe swap, decided to try Sableye with the return as a safe swap because it plays better as a safe swap with the non-shadow version. So, Corviknight on the lead here. I'm going to stay in this matchup and just start spamming these ice punches. Because you actually hit neutral here and your shadow, these are adding up quite a lot, and they went straight payback where air cutter would be resisted. So getting to the next ice punch there, did have to burn one shield on the payback, but that would have taken out. And here just going to commit to the 2 shield 2v1 and then potential farm down if they go payback here, and they do, so that's great. They come in with Malamar. You know, I can stay in a bit. I could stay in and resist the Psy Waves and catch on a Azumarill is what I'm thinking I'm going to do. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Psy Waves are resisted on the Steel of SANDSLASH. Azumarill resists the Foul Play and Superpower, so you farm back up. And now with all that chip that you've done from SANDSLASH, you can just commit to the farm down bubble on Azumarill and take these resisted moves and come out with energy. So just kind of being aware of what the fast moves and charge moves are of your opponent's Pokemon will allow you to kind of plan of attack here with your different Pokemon. So I have energy. Out comes Credillia, which is kind of an interesting one. I know it looks like it's running Acid, which is super effective, and it has Grass, but I do have an Ice Beam, and Bubble is super effective. I'm coming in straight Sableye. The reason I'm coming Sableye is because Acid is resisted, so I'm basically just kind of putting pressure on them to either get out or throw a charge move, because Acid is not going to do much here. And then I just got 3 Pokemon, 2 of them with the Ice move, so they decide to top left. Credillia, let's see, they get out to a Primeape. I come Sableye. You know, I think Azumarill is probably better. I don't even know why I came Sableye. I think I just saw Fighter, and then my first thought was Ghost that resists, but this Fighter has a Ghost move. It's only neutral because you're half dark. But I'm going to have to probably burn a shield here, else I'm going to lose Switch. Or am I going to live a Rage Fist? Oh, I just live a Rage Fist. Barely. But, you know, and I do keep Switch, which is nice. Get to a Foul Play. This will be okay, Chip. More importantly, align the SANDSLASH back on here. And then see what we have in the back here. So, Rock Tomb would be neutral here. I am half ice. They come in Jellicent. Shadow Claw super effective. I'm probably seeing SANDSLASH as a win con here, so I wouldn't be surprised if I throw like one more Claw to Chip and then catch on a Azumarill here. Okay, that's probably what I was going to do, but they decided to throw right away. Not optimal fast move timing, but, you know, make sure that I don't catch there. And there we go. Now I'm going to catch on that one. Pretty much clawing it all the way down to the red. So catching that surf so I can just commit to the bubble down, even if they get to a Shadow Ball. I don't think it matters too much. They do come in with Credillia. I do have an Ice Beam loaded here, so this will likely grab 1 shield or do a lot of chip damage. Yeah, they're already in the almost 50% range, so they have to. You'll live 1 Grass Knot from this range. And can we get to another one before we get Acid down? I think the answer is yes, and not only will I get to it, this will burn the Switch Clock a little bit more, that I can just kind of instant swap after this here. And Snipe with the Ice Punch. This should take out from this range. Super effective from a Shadow. Taking it out. Clawing down. SANDSLASH. Dealing with a few Pokemon in this meta, right? Seaking. You can see my hesitation. I'm just like, what is happening here with Seaking? What is the good and bad here? So I just chip with Drill Run. And then comes Sableye, where I assume they have Icy Wind and maybe Drill Run. So that's the moves. I don't think I want to take another move, so I'm just going to throw. Yeah, Peck Seeking. It's one of those where I don't see it often, so I just kind of hesitated, like, what is the outcome that I do here? So Corviknight comes back in. I will chip here. My attack is lowered with the Icy Wind, but this Claws and Foul Plays will start adding up, so they just want to get me out of here to not let me just take them to the deep yellow. And unfortunately, just as I'm getting to a Foul Play, they take me down. Coming in Azumarill, I think maybe in the moment I was worried about them having a payback. And I know if they have a payback, it's kind of useless on Azumarill. They clearly would have, because here comes an Air Cutter, a second Air Cutter, like very, very, very soon after the first. So get to the Ice Beam here. And if they start shielding, then I need to start thinking like, okay, what's in the back? But they do not shield. Azumarill, unfortunately, the Ice Beam does not take out, allowing them to get one more Air Cutter, which is unfortunate. And in the back is what? A Swampert. If it was a Gastrodon, I was in big trouble. Swampert's still pretty bad, but it's a little better because you're not getting that just raw Mud Slap damage. I do grab one shield. They farmed up a lot. I think I just have to let this go and then try to go Sandslash. Claw is going to be better. Oh no, it would have been neutral either way. Do not get the fast move in. I even labeled this one. I do not get a fast move in. That Shadow Claw should have registered there. So I would have been at a move already. And as you're going to see here, I'm at 2 moves, but so are they. Had I got that Shadow Claw through and not got denied there, I would have won this matchup. Instead, we both get to the moves at the same time, both low till 10, and I CMP lost there. So very, very frustrating that that's the way that this played out. This game is definitely not fixed, and a lot of freeze bugs, and the one turn works most of the time, but still has a lot of issues. Very frustrating. Okay, we have Empoleon going straight drill run. My only concern here, if they shield, which they do, I'm gonna try and catch her maybe on a Azumarill. Yeah. My only concern was because drill run's 665 and Hydro's 555, I felt like I was just gonna get Opace there. So I did have a super effective move, but I just felt like I was going to get Opace. So it came in here where I can... It's a bad matchup for Azumarill. Like, I would not want this matchup in any other situation. But I felt like in the moment, it wasn't a bad situation to put Azumarill as the catch there and save some potential health/shields from Sandslash. So here comes a Play Rough. Both moves are resisted, but Play Rough will be just a better move. They live with a couple HP. Trevenant does come in. I do get off to a nice beam here. And I do have Sableye and Sandslash. Both are pretty good here. Going to go back in Sandslash because I just kind of don't want them to see my last Pokemon yet, I believe is the thought process here. Let's see what they come in with here. Plus they have like a grass, so I thought they may have an answer to ice. Nope, they're going to be very weak to ice here. And you know what? It's not, is it a bad strategy to be double weak to ice? You know, there's a lot of Pokemon with ice secondary moves. You have, you know, Azumarill with Ice Beam, and you have Lapras with Ice Beam potential. And so there's definitely some Pokemon out there that could hurt you from that perspective. Is there a lot of Sandslash right now? Is there a lot of Dugong right now? I don't think so. At least not that I've seen so far this season. So, you know. Terrible lead. Get in Sableye. I will assume that they're going to just go Water Pulse because Body Slam is resisted. Get to the Foul Play. They shield. And I'm like, what do you have? Okay, that's terrible timing on my part there. But I'm like, what do you have in the back that you're still not... You had a pretty solid matchup against Sandslash, and you're not getting out. And here we are now, getting off another Foul Play. And so I grabbed 2 shields. I took this down, and they did not get out. Very kind of weird here. We'll see. Unless they have like multiple answers in the back. Right? Could be that they just have multiple answers to Sandslash in the back. So we're going to find out right now. Empoleon, why am I not instant swapping? This is hesitation, and this is why. When you hesitate like this, it should have been like an instant swap to SANDSLASH, but I worried. I was like, by the time my brain triggered that I should have went, they were already 3 or 4 ahead. So I'm like, I'll just wait till they throw a move. But they also correctly just farmed up a ton and then made this catch. So it's just too slow on my part. Nice recognition on their part that I was too slow and that they overfarmed a bit when I had a bad matchup there with the Azumarill. So trying to take out this Corsola. I'm trying to get out of this matchup, but I can't. I'm going to go down here. I do have a Play Rough. 1 Play Rough won't take out, but 2 will. So get the first one off. And really close to the second one. I feel like I can live with Drill Peck from this range too. But I do take it out. Wiggly, good lead. You'd think so. I believe, if I remember this one, yeah. Because I have Claw, Claw is double resisted on the normal typing. So both of them, my fast move is double resisted. Their charm is resisted and their charge moves are resisted. So I really thought that I would like, okay, yes, Claw's resisted. I still have a bad matchup. I'll have a good matchup overall. This was a lot closer than I thought it would be. Throwing a very resisted Icy Wind there. But these charms, even though they're not as hard hitting, are still like really adding up here. So that's kind of, I was very surprised when this was happening. So they get to the Swift. Can I get to the Drill Run? I can, but you know, my attack is lowered, so I doubt that I take it out. And so they take it in the 1v2 shield, which is kind of crazy, but against a Steel. But I guess I did have Shadow Claw. Out comes a Bastiodon, and unfortunately, I do not have a Hydro for this. All my charge moves are resisted, and again, this is me half being too slow, half thinking the bubble damage is needed here. So I eventually come Sableye, and in the back is unfortunately a Mandibuzz, which resists the Claw, resists the Foul Play. At least I have Return, but I would rather have Power Gem, so this is kind of a bad situation to be in. So I'm going to have to like kind of keep this alive. I want to basically keep this alive, try and snipe with the Azumarill, snipe an Ice Beam or Play Rough here. Try and keep this alive, try and keep some energy here. But now I need to burn the Switch Clock, so it's just kind of a bad situation. So I do eventually come in, get that off. Not enough to take out, but that's okay. But now the Bastiodon is just going to come and take all these moves very, very, very easily. Because Bastiodon can take borderline super effective moves pretty easy. So a resisted Play Rough from a lower attack Pokemon is just not where you want to be. They get to a charge move. I'm pretty low. I'm going to need at least 2 Foul Plays to take this out, but I don't think I have enough health to do that. So throw in the first one here. Hoping that I can maybe Foul Play Claw down. I've said multiple times already, if you've watched me over the last year and a half, I guess season and a half now, Foul Play was a buff for Malamar because now you had a bait move. It is a nerf, in my opinion, for every other dark Pokemon that uses it. Once again, Primeape comes in, and once again, I'm coming in with Sableye. So don't know if that is the right move either. They are spamming. You'll live one more Rage Fist. And Karate Chop is resisted on the Ghost. But yeah, it looks like I'm shielding pretty early. So get to the Foul Play. Foul Play is resisted, but these Claws are adding up. So oh, Jesus. Okay, not the situation you want to be in. And now I'm double shielding because I'm kind of stuck here. And double shielding is never the situation you want to be in. You know, I am at a Foul Play in a bit. But you know, this thing's pretty glossy, so I may be able to take it out here. My only concern is I have no idea what moves this has. I'm assuming some sort of Brave Bird and something, and I'll just let Azumarill eat it with its bulk here. Drill Peck, okay. That hurts. They'll probably get to another one. No. That's surprising. Marowak in the back. So unfortunately, SANDSLASH is weak to ground here. I do get off the Ice Beam, which is a ton of damage, and now it's just fast move damage here. Yeah, commit to the fast move down. They did get to move. If they have back-to-back moves, I'm probably taken out here. If they don't, I'll win. You know what? I'm almost at 90% health here. I probably live this. Yeah, I do live that. And 2 turns, registering before the 3 turns. Love to see it. And we've seen this matchup before, so we'll just kind of play out the Shadow Claw Ice Punch combo here and go from here. Shield out the payback and Gastrodon. So if you're gonna use this Pokemon, SANDSLASH, obviously you need to deal with the fighters and the fighting, because that's what you're double weak to, right? Double weak to fighting, double weak to fire. So I felt like Azumarill is a good one. The only problem with running Azumarill as the answer is that it actually does not have a charge move for fire. Ice Beam, Play Rough are both resisted on fire. There's also the ground aspect of it. And yes, you can hit ground super effective with Ice Punch, but there's a lot of Mud Boys, which you only hit neutral. And I think just ground in general, if it's like a Mud Slap user, is just going to beat you. Even if you have Powder Snow, maybe it's a little closer, but Shadow Claw, not a chance. So you almost need to cover that ground weakness a little more too. So again, would I use the same team? Probably not. Sableye, I think, is underperforming, which is too bad. It was always a winner when I used it in the past. It just feels like the meta has evolved enough that it's not as strong anymore. It would be fun to like look back at the evolution of some of these Pokemon. I think someone mentioned that once in my chat about the evolution of some of these Pokemon when they became meta and not meta and stuff like that. Sableye has been through the ringer a ton. It was at one point the absolute dominant safe swap with Shadow Claw return in the old foul play, where you could even beat Azumarill if you landed the return, or like baited foul play and landed the return. You could actually win that matchup in the 2 shields. So Sableye was a beast back in the day. I think the Shadow version came out with the old foul play and it became super dominant, and then the foul play got nerfed, and I feel like between the foul play getting nerfed and the meta just evolving, it's just not as strong as it used to be. And I think, like I said, a bit of like the power creep, or like the XL creep, maybe we'll call it. Although it's like level 48 too, so it's not even the XL creep. I don't even know if that's the right thoughts, but yeah, it's just one of those things. I don't know. It doesn't have as much play in the meta. So Sableye in here against Scizor is going to put some pressure on. Oh, we got the double attack raise. Oh, how the hell did I get myself in? I was so distracted talking about Sableye's history that I have no idea how I got myself into a position of being down 2v1 shields and losing switch. Okay. So out is Dunsparce. Taking that draw run on Azumarill. Looks like we got CMP there. Azumarill just eating these draw runs, non-stop draw run from a Dunsparce. But Dunsparce also has some bulk, so it should be able to take this pretty easy too. It's going to be a pretty aggressive bubble down, but they're definitely going to get one more move off. Can they get 2? That's debatable. And it's an Altaria in the back. That is huge. This thing is double weak to ice. I'm pretty close to a second move here. Can we please get to it under this new Dragon Breath? Yes. I was worried with the Dragon Breath rework that maybe they could have gotten to it by the time I got to Ice Beam, because that was like 9 to 12. Whoa, nah, that's unfortunate. So I was hoping that I can like come in here and get this off before they get out. And luckily I still do, even though they did hit me with the Sky Attack. Sky Attack got the, what, nerf this season? Take it out. Dunsparce. Do double resisted claw down there. Okay. Yeah, so SANDSLASH I think will have play. Just you got to watch out for a lot of the weaknesses it has. Yeah, otherwise should core break a few things, like deals with some, like I said, has something for steel, has something for flyers, can resist dragon, has something for dragons, has something for ground even though you're weak to ground. So it just actually does cover a lot of the meta at this point, but just be aware that, you know, it does have some big glaring weaknesses in this meta. That just I feel like that's a summary of like most Pokemon. Really dominant in the meta, covers all these meta Pokemon. Oh, but also here are 20 other meta Pokemon that can cause this thing problems. Like, it just feels like that's where we are, right? It just feels like there's so many freaking Pokemon that are so strong, and it's just like you think you found a Pokemon that works, and then you get hit with like Pokemon that you never thought of, or like Pokemon that are meta that you just like don't see as much as some of the other meta Pokemon, and then you're like, oh wait, here it is again. Anyways, okay. Yeah, so we got a couple more videos. I think one's a Scizor team. I think one's maybe another Abomasnow team. And then we'll get into some new battles this week and go from there. So that is it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.